Hello, welcome to a fresh episode of Mocca with Moiz. We are back after a brief hiatus, and we have with us in this episode Zoha Matin, who is a nutrition expert, a certified fitness trainer. We talked to her about the importance of nutrition, making information about a good diet and nutrition more accessible, and lots more. Zoha, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
So, Zoha, the first question I have, and I think this is like really important, you'd probably be able to give me some good solid advice about this. So, is there a way I can have pancakes for breakfast and a good steak for lunch and a really nice pizza for dinner and never gain weight?
Yes, if it's portion controlled within your caloric requirements.
Okay, so before we delve deep into nutrition, tell us about where you grew up, what schools you went to, and how did you think about nutrition? Because when you ask, a kid who's 15, 16,
Yeah.
planning their career, nutrition isn't really a conventional choice.
So I've moved around a lot in my life.
Mhm.
I was born in Karachi and I lived here until I was 10. Then I moved to Dubai. I did a lot of my schooling there. I went to Shoifat. And then after that, I moved to Canada for my undergraduate degree and I started it in human biology and science. My
Mhm.
parents wanted me to be a
A doctor, yeah.
And I just stumbled on taking an elective nutrition course and I just loved it.
And this is at U of T?
Yes, this is
Okay.
at U of T. So I was at U of T, and that's where I really wanted to just start pursuing nutrition. And even as a kid, I was really into nutrition. Like I was that weird kid that was eating whole wheat bread at the age
Okay.
of 12. I've always been really healthy. Like it's
Yeah.
always been something that I've been really just into for no reason at all. It's not like my family ate very healthy, my friends, nobody really knew about it, but I just stumbled across it and I was like, oh, I want to eat.
And was it
This
difficult
way.
when you were a kid being, health conscious?
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't hard for me to give up like unhealthy things. I just knew कि अच्छा ये अच्छा नहीं है अच्छा है, and then I would just eat it. I don't
Yeah.
know why. And because I wanted to stay fit. I was like, oh, you're a teenager. You're like, I want to stay fit. I never followed any sorts of diets.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, I'm going to eat fruits and vegetables and those kind of things. And I didn't mind. So that's kind of how my journey started. So once I was in U of T and I told my parents, I don't want to be a doctor. And I was always good at school and science. So my parents are like, nahi, nahi banna and all that stuff. But once I told them, okay, I want to be go into nutrition, like I want to be a dietitian, they were like, at first they're like, ye kya degree? And that was about 12 years ago. So back then it was not known in Pakistan. Like that wasn't really a career that even I knew about. But I told them about it, and at first they were a little hesitant, but then they were kind of like, tum to aisi ho, you're so into it, maybe it's the right thing for you. So then I pursued it. I transferred to Western University to do the really specialized program in nutrition. Then I worked in Canada in hospitals and clinics for a few years, and like diabetes clinics, weight loss clinics, child nutrition clinics. And then I decided to pursue my master's in nutrition at McGill University. So I did that. And then after I did my master's, I was kind of wondering what the next step would be, where I want to work. And I was just visiting Pakistan. At the time, I didn't have plans to move back. I was pretty happy in Canada, but a lot of my friends and family members were like, hey, like, a lot of awareness is increasing around fitness and nutrition in Pakistan. Maybe you should come here.
And what year was this?
This was in 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just decided, I was like, okay, you know what? I do want to come back to Pakistan. I feel people don't have enough knowledge about it. This is something I'm so passionate about. And I moved back here to start my own practice, which was very exciting. At first, I was super excited. I didn't know how it'd go. I was like, okay, I thought I would always work in a hospital my whole life, but now I'm going to be an entrepreneur, you know? And so I moved here and I started, first of all, I started an Instagram. I feel like that got people to just know about me before I even started my own clinic and my office. And then from there, like it just kind of snowballed and I felt like it was a really good response. I was really happy about that.
So from 2018 to 2022, almost 4 years.
Yeah.
And do you think that it was the right decision to make?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I did this. I feel I've really helped a lot of people here understand nutrition a lot better. I feel like there's a lot of online on the internet, there's just so much misinformation. And I feel like I could help my fellow Pakistanis even in other parts of the world. Anyone who follows me on Instagram, Pakistanis in any corner, they wonder, how do we make our desi diet healthy? You know, maybe if you see on Instagram, it's all like Western diet or other diets, but how can you lose weight or be healthy on a desi diet? And that's how kind of, do this in between thing.
Okay, so we're in the middle of the wedding season and we see that a lot of people, have these pressures to lose weight. Not only the people who are getting married, but if your siblings are getting married, if your friends are getting married. And people start following these really, unhealthy diets, which aren't sustainable, which can often lead to other complications in the long run. So, as a nutrition expert, do you often get clients who want to lose weight in a short time? And what's usually your advice to them?
Yes, a lot of people come to me being like, as soon as possible, we
Yeah.
need to lose weight. And I always just tell them all the downsides of that. Like, firstly, it's unsustainable. You might have digestive issues. You're going to be constipated. You're going to lose hair. You're going to lose muscle. There's so many downsides to trying to do it the fast way. And that's the weight loss that never stays off. Jo bahut yo-yo diet karti, I'm sure you know people in your life as well. They lose a lot, then they gain it back, and they lose a lot, and that's really bad and hard on the body as well. So doing something sustainable is the weight loss that really sticks and lasts, and you're not losing a lot of muscle mass in the process. It's a lot more, it's also not as like difficult. Like people who starve themselves are upset, they're like cranky, they're not happy, and you can definitely lose weight in a moderate, healthy way, and it's not going to make you feel like that. So a lot of my clients are actually very happy because they're like, oh, hum roti chawal bhi kha sakte hain, weight bhi lose ho raha hai, we feel good, we don't feel hungry. It's like that's the right way to actually lose weight versus something that's super extreme.
Yeah. Also, so I'm a lawyer, you know that. So often when I go to a party or to a wedding, there are random people coming to me and saying that, we have this property dispute. What do we do about it? And sometimes at the end of your work day, you don't want to talk about, work and things like that. So do you often go to parties where people ask you, how do we lose weight?
Yeah. Sometimes I feel that it's nice to switch off and not think about work as much as this is my passion and I love it. Sometimes you're just like, I don't want to talk about this here, So sometimes I think people are curious. They don't realize, but someone will just come up to me and say, oh, I'm nutritionist now. Okay, मैंने सुबह में ये खाया और फिर दोपहर में ये खाया, and this is what I eat. And they're just going on and on and on. It's like, not here. Please contact me.
There's a time and place for this.
There's a time and place for this.
And speaking of time and place, for those who want to contact you, how do they contact you?
So they can visit my website. It's www.zothenutritionist.com, or you can hit me up on Instagram. It's @zo.the.nutritionist.
And where is your clinic in Karachi?
It's on Sabah Commercial Avenue. The clinic space is called Vitamind.
Okay. And speaking of, advice about nutrition, the one critique of nutritionists in Pakistan is that it's because it's so expensive. And not only is approaching a nutritionist expensive, but, they give you certain diets which are difficult to incorporate, which are expensive. And often people complain that advice about good nutrition is not as accessible. But you have a very prominent and a very popular blog where people can simply look, and there's obviously, information that you give can't be tailored to everybody's needs, but you have some general advice, some general information. So do you think with your blog, the aim is not just to perhaps, promote your own brand, but it's also to make advice about nutrition more accessible?
Absolutely. I think the mission that I have with starting the blog, initially it was a lot of healthy recipes. I felt like that was what Pakistanis weren't so aware of. They used to think, okay, diet karne mein is just boiled chicken and vegetables and it's miserable. And when I started to share a lot of healthy recipes, that's what got people really excited. And I was so happy to be able to share that. And then it evolved into a lot more nutrition information and getting people more aware of all the small things in nutrition. I love sharing what I know, and I hold a lot of Q&As for my clients. My followers, and people always DM me. I'm answering their questions. But if it's anything really specific, like if somebody has a disease or are really struggling with something, I always say, okay, come speak to me in a really long session so I can really understand you to be able to give you the right guidance. But on an Instagram, it's going to be general advice. But I do love sharing my knowledge. I think it's really fun and helpful. And
we were having this conversation before the cameras were rolling that COVID-19 has really changed things. And now it's usually okay for somebody to hire someone who they've never met in person. And similarly, we see that a lot of doctors have been, consulting patients online. So do you think COVID-19 has changed your business model in certain ways?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I feel that even before COVID, I was offering online sessions to a lot of people who weren't in Karachi. So like Lahore, Islamabad, other places. I was still offering that. But with COVID, it moved predominantly online. And a lot of people were very comfortable with it. In general, people are comfortable doing now like online fitness classes and all kinds of things. So I feel people have become quite comfortable doing online nutrition consultation too. And you don't actually have to be in the same space. So I think it's really accessible. It's easy. Like you just, open your laptop, you're at home in your pajamas and you can have a consultation, So I think it's good. Like,
Yeah.
do you like working from home?
I think it's both good and bad. I personally prefer a hybrid system where you have the option of going to an office, because I think it gets slightly isolating as well after a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, you're also a fitness trainer. We're having this conversation as well, and you spoke about, people also having fitness sessions online, but that's something that you haven't really, delved in ever since you started practice. So any plans about that?
Perhaps I'll incorporate it as part of my packages or my offerings to some of my clients. But for the time being, I feel that I'm very educated and like certified to be able to give basic guidelines around fitness to my clients. Let's say if somebody's starting out and they're 50 plus or whatever, and they'd say, okay, I want to start exercising, I can be able to kind of tell them, okay, here are some recommendations just to get started, or, maybe you should contact a fitness trainer. Depending on their goals with fitness, I can help to advise them at a basic level, which I like. I think nutrition and fitness both really go hand in hand. And so I really wanted to learn about that as well.
Also, initially you spoke about how a large part of your blog was talking about recipes, and not just recipes that people can't incorporate easily, but like desi recipes, right? And people initially thought that a diet would only be about grilled food, vegetables. So do you think that there's also, do people, when they come to you, and as you were saying at the very beginning, that sometimes people can't just afford some of the diet that some dietitians, prescribe. So do you think that when you, for example, design a diet for some person, is there also a focus on things that are not only easy to incorporate, but also easy to find in Pakistan? Because there are some vegetables that dietitians can often give, which aren't as easy to find in Karachi. Yeah.
I make very, very customized meal plans depending on people's preferences, palate, all that stuff. So if they say, I want a completely desi diet, I'll make it accordingly. Some people are like, oh, we like to have the imported vegetables and like avocados and all that stuff, and I'll make their plan accordingly. It has to be something that my clients can follow, and I always have a follow-up with them just to ask them, hey, is everything to your needs? Like, are you able to follow it? Do you need any changes? So I really make it quite specific for them so that they're able to follow it. And I feel like even seeing a nutritionist in person is a big investment in your health. It just sets the groundwork for you for the rest of your life to be like, okay, how about I just figure out how to kind of put this in place for the rest of my life. It's just kind of like going to a fitness trainer or learning strength training for the first time that you can take for longer in your life, because it's something that you should be paying attention to for your lifetime. Because especially later on, after the age of 30, 40, 50, people do tend to put on a lot of weight. It just naturally happens. And at that point, you might have more medical conditions to deal with, and you may not know what to do. So it's good to start these things early.
And you mentioned that when you came to Pakistan, your reason to come back to Pakistan was motivated in some part because there was also an increasing awareness about nutrition. But what happens sometimes is that when there's increasing awareness, there are some people who join the profession just because there's a market. They tap into the market, but to put it politely, they're not as knowledgeable. And now we see some doctors who've done a bunch of other things, advise people about nutrition. There are some companies that provide diets which may not be as good. So have you come across, without taking any names, companies which provide these diets which may not be that healthy?
Absolutely. There's a lot of people just cashing in on the trend. They don't have any nutrition certifications, degrees, anything like that. Everyone should always know, please ask whoever you're going to कि आपकी degrees क्या हैं, आपके certifications, qualifications क्या हैं. Go to someone with at least a bachelor's of nutrition who can guide you properly. Otherwise, anyone can just say anything, and it's your health, so you shouldn't play around with it and go to the cheapest option. Okay, this person is only charging me this and the expert is charging me that. Like, you want the right knowledge and the right guidance, so go to somebody who is knowledgeable in it. I feel like
and perhaps don't follow all these catering services blindly. Like, if you can't ask them, perhaps go to a nutrition expert and ask them if this diet is good for me.
Absolutely. I think catering services are also such a short-term fix, right? You never learn, what should I really eat? And you're not going to follow a meal plan service forever.
Exactly.
So for a short-term, kya fayda? Maybe you lose 3 pounds and then gain it next month, So just learning and having good habits in place is best. And it's not that hard to eat healthy, I think, if you put the right things in place. And to me, a healthy diet is a balanced diet. I'm not eating salads for every meal either. It's all about balance, all about knowing your portion size, your requirements, your needs, and fitting everything in, like an 80-20 rule. Like 80% of the time, eat fairly healthy, 20% of the time, enjoy yourself. It's not a jail. to be healthy, you have to be 100%. There's nothing like that.
And I think people don't often realize that a good diet, nutrition is not just about, a quick fix. It's about a lifestyle change as well. So,
yeah, absolutely. And I feel when my clients come to me too, one of the things that I do with them a lot is that I act like a coach that tries to get inside their internal motivations to really find out what is their real need for eating healthy. Is it because they have body image issues? Is it because, bas patla lagna hai? And like I try to just tell them in a way that really increases their confidence in a powerful way. Okay, why are you doing this when it's not fear-based?
Yeah.
And just getting people to really adopt these healthy lifestyles and habits. And I talk to them about, okay, besides diet, you have to have good sleep and good mindset and good lifestyle and all areas to be successful in your diet as well, which is very important.
Yeah. Also, we in a country like Pakistan, there's often a degree of misogyny that you have to face no matter what you do. So as a female nutrition expert who's perhaps in a position of power on most occasions, because, you tell people who are diet, they should adopt. Have you ever, faced misogyny from some of your clients, perhaps, or people you work with?
Alhamdulillah, no.
Okay.
I think I have one of the best clients ever, and they've always been super polite. I don't think I've had any horrible experiences so far.
Yeah. And, we're starting a new year, and people often make new plans for the year. So what are some of your plans for 2022?
So I want to start meditation very seriously for overall mind-body health. It's been on my list forever, and I actually just joined this week on a very like proper meditation guidance kind of thing. Like I have a meditation guide. So I'm very excited to start that. And besides that, as I turned 30, I just started thinking about my future, and I'm like, okay, time to learn about savings and investment and all these things. And I feel like in my 20s, I was just very like, okay, you make money, you spend it and go on vacations and stuff. But now I'm just really starting to think of my future. So I think saving is one, meditation, just staying really consistent with my workouts.
Thank you so much for your time, Zoha. We spoke about nutrition. We spoke about the importance of making a lifestyle change. We talked about adopting healthy habits. Until next time, keep watching.